Hey everybody, welcome back to our Pokemon Crystal playthrough. My name is Chris.
My name is Trey.
We are console freaks, and we're about to set off on our great journey. But first we got to talk to Mommy.
Is this Mom? You mean bank?
Yes, we have to talk to the bank. This, I think, is the only game that does this where you can actually talk, your mom gives you the option that you can send a certain amount of money from your battles to her. And, ever so often, she'll buy something useful, massive air quotes there, for you.
It's actually a bunch of heroin.
Yeah, she's just hoarding heroin at home. Try saying that
feeding
10 times
her
fast.
Feeding her son's addiction because Pokemon isn't real.
Pretty much. He thinks he's on a journey, but really he's just high as crap.
He's just rolling around in the backyard.
Rolling around in a pile of heroin.
Keith, it's time for your shot.
But, yeah, so the sending the money to her serves two purposes.
Yep.
One, you can go back after a certain amount of time. Well, actually, at any time, if you feel like backtracking. But you can go back and withdraw all the money that she saved for you.
Yeah, okay.
And, at the end game, that can be, $50,000 or $60,000.
Goodness.
So by that time, you can just take the money that you get from her and just stock up on full restores and max revives. You're good. That's actually why I chose to do it for this particular playthrough. It's just because that it isn't really something that I always do, but usually you find or have enough money to get enough items to manage.
Yeah.
As it is, there's really no need to go out of your way. Now there's two Pokemon that I'm going to try to get before I get to Violet City, which is where the first gym is located. And I believe that I get both of them. I need to be able to get
Hoot Hoot.
a Hoot Hoot.
Hi there. I need you. Get in my ball.
There are two flying types that you can get at this point in the game, Pidgey and Hoot Hoot.
Yep.
I like Hoot Hoot better. Why? Because the HP stat is insane. Everything else is kind of crap, though. But, I mean, I don't feel like raising a Pidgeot, so, Hoot Hoot's the best alternative.
Yeah.
To me, at least.
I don't know, every time I see you just walking through grass, all of a sudden you encounter a Pokemon in battle, just the animation for it just puts me in the mind of you walking in grass, all of a sudden you just pass out randomly and woke up, I just fought a Pokemon. Keep walking.
That's the voice that you used to. I just fought a Pokemon.
Look around if you then just
Anybody see
casually
that?
walk away.
Nope. I am nicknaming my Pokemon in this playthrough. This one's name is Mr. Owl.
Does he look like he can hold a lollipop?
He could. You wait till you see his evolved form. His evolved form looks like he will tear you to shreds, man.
His mega evolution.
The one thing I don't like about the Hoot Hoot Noctowl line, the required experience to level up is actually really high.
Really?
You have to, per level, to raise a Hoot Hoot, it requires a lot more experience. Whereas, as you'll see later when I get my second Pokemon, when I get my third Pokemon, the experience requirements to level up is a lot less. You go through levels a lot faster.
His growl is so intense.
One thing that I do like about this game,
Yep.
like I had mentioned before, is that it is so individualistic, and every time I play this game, I have a different experience. And that basically is because you choose, you can choose different ways to complete certain objectives. You can choose different Pokemon to proceed with.
That is one thing I've always liked about Pokemon, is that you don't have to play it the exact same way you did before in order to progress.
In this particular playthrough, I've gone a little bit more lenient with the Pokemon that I catch.
Yeah.
because usually I have to have this, I have to have this. When I started, like, I think it was my third or fourth take of playing through it, because every time I would get snagged on something, there'd be a recording error, something like that, and it was something that I wasn't prepared for, and it would screw me. So I would have to keep restarting the playthrough. The last playthrough, I just kind of got to the point where I was like, screw it. I'm not even going to pay attention to what I'm doing. I just want to play the game and enjoy playing the game. And so that is basically how I treated the playthrough from then on out. Is that I was like, look, I'll start from here, and I have my objectives of where I want to be at the end of my recording session. But what happens between then and now, who cares? This is the part where I'm looking for my third Pokemon for my party, which we actually saw earlier, and I ran away.
Poliwhirl.
Wag.
Poliwag.
Poliwag.
Poliwhirl.
Early
Poliwag.
game water type that you can, is basically useless in the Sprout Tower. But it can be really useful to have an early game water type, because that covers your weakness to water with your starter.
Plus, please go away.
Poliwag's speed stat is incredibly good.
Have one Pokemon with good attack, one with good speed, and one with crap ton of cracked. Yep, a lot of health.
Yep,
a lot of health. There you
I try to balance my team as much as possible, but I don't really play Pokemon competitively. Like a lot of the people that I'm friends with have their competitive team, and they have to have something. But I'm not really competitive minded when it comes to this game.
At least until we go to the con.
Yeah, when we end up going to MagmaCon, I'm gonna have to be, because that's another thing that's going on. But don't want to date our videos too badly.
Now, I remember you pointing this out before. Previously, is whenever you're trying to catch a Pokemon, you throw a Pokeball at it. Whenever you've caught it, the color scheme of the Pokeball changes to what Pokemon that you've caught.
Yeah, the color palette of the Pokemon that you catch changes the color palette of the Pokeball. That's something really I was watching. I believe it was Brain Scratch do their run of Crystal, and that was something that they brought up. Her name's Dizzy.
Why do you have to do that to her?
Because she's got a spiral on her belly.
You've got a swirl on your tummy, and it makes me dizzy.
I will say that by the third gym, I have more than half of my party know Hypnosis.
We all learn Hypnosis.
Everybody learns Hypnosis. Because early game status, debuffs like Hypnosis and Thunder Wave and stuff like that, they can be incredibly broken.
Yeah.
If you can find the right movesets, you can break this game easily.
Definitely use that to your advantage, which is...
Or if you can get a Psychic type, which, they implemented the split up of the special stat for special attack and defense, just so that, because in the first game, since the special stat was all one stat, Psychic types were incredibly powerful. They were they were disgusting. Here on this stretch of road is probably it's where I wanted to do a little bit of balancing my levels out.
Yep.
So I could have a little bit of easier time when I got to Violet City. Were you gonna say something?
I want to say switching out your Pokemon. Is that just switch out who you throw out first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
It basically changes the order on the list.
Now, what is the reason why you switched it out?
Because I wanted to give a different Pokemon the chance to, gain experience.
Okay, yeah.
because I've done playthroughs where I basically only had my, like, for the longest time that all the only Pokemon that would gain any experience was my starter.
Yeah.
And so I'd be like level 80 by the time I got to the Elite Four.
Rattata.
At least on here you get or in this route you get a healthy dose of youngsters and bug catchers. So Caterpies and Rattatas and Pidgeys.
Yep.
Hope you like seeing them because that's basically going to be the rest of the part.
All you're gonna see right now. Now, didn't Crystal, wasn't that the first one to implement the experience bar as well?
Well, Gen 2 in general.
Oh, just Gen 2.
Yeah, though it can be kind of frustrating when you see the experience bar goes up and like it looks like the bar is full, but like you have like 2 or 3, experience points until you get to the max.
I went through all that for you not to move.
It gets better in later games though. My voice is just like going as we go through this. I'm glad this is the last thing we're doing today because I don't know if my voice can handle it.
Chris hasn't been able to speak right since the war.
Yeah. This is what 10 pack a days does to you kids. Don't smoke crack.
10 packs of crack a day.
Yeah, it's basically I buy it in bulk.
Pretty sure they sell it at Walmart, don't they?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. People of Walmart.
I buy it in bulk. Spend $1,000, get a pile the size of I don't know.
Mount up my nose.
Yeah, just like lay in it, rolling around for a minute.
Oh,
that's how you do crack, right?
Oh, the crack. It just seeps through your skin.
This is horrible. I don't do drugs. I don't. And I don't condone the usage of drugs, so shame on you.
At least until after this playthrough. Or at least the editing of this playthrough.
Yeah, I'm going to need to pick me up as it gets later in the game. Be editing a whole lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh. Whenever I seen some of the project files that you've worked on, that's a lot more than anything I've done. That's for sure.
I'll tell you what. I'm really glad that I waited until, it's now, 6 months since we started the channel to try an RPG. Because I was basically learning to edit these videos as I went along. And if I had tried it when I first wanted to try it, like after the Jet Set Radio playthrough.
With Lufia.
With Lufia, which I know I had said that I was going to do Lufia back then. I really wanted to. I had so much trouble recording that.
Yeah.
And so I just moved on to a different project. It was better that way. But if I had done it when I said I was going to, it would have been ugly. But now that I actually know what I'm doing, trying to make this playthrough look as good as I can, at least as smooth and collected.
Oh, the bug catchers! Oh,
Caterpie.
Caterpies.
Gee, I'm glad that I have a flying type because Caterpie is really weak to flying types. Too bad I don't have a flying type move though.
All I can do is tackle and growl. Growl while I'm tackling you.
Have you ever heard a bird growl?
I have not heard a bird growl.
Neither have I. I imagine it to be terrifying, though.
Or an owl growl at you.
Owls are my favorite bird. I like owls.
Is that why you got to hoot hoot?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? Exactly. Are owls allowed to be pets?
I don't know. I had an argument with my wife about that earlier.
Really? Like I know certain animals you just can't have as a pet.
Yeah, exotic pets are kind of illegal.
That's stupid.
In a lot of places. I don't know if it's like in rural areas if they are, but
it's like if you can hold them at a zoo, I can hold them in my house.
Just walk down the street with my tiger. My 500-pound lion.
Riding it all majestic like. Go, Simba.
Yeah, just riding it down the street like a horse. That'll teach those kids not to talk to me. Not to bug me while I'm trying to have my peaceful, calm, relaxing moments.
Calm, relaxing moment riding a lion. I'd probably be super tense riding a lion. I don't think there's a lion big enough to have me on its back.
I think that there is.
Probably a liger. Like, ligers are real, but they don't live long.
I can't imagine. Now my head hurts.
Hey, I was wondering, whose idea was it to, like, crossbreed those animals? It's probably not a good idea to do that.
Napoleon Dynamite, apparently.
Napoleon Dynamite. It's all his idea. They got it from the movie. It was like, hey, if it can work in a movie, why not? Well, he drew it, but hey, if he can draw it, why not make it real?
Obviously, that's where all the best genetic studies come from.
That's how it comes. Yeah, exactly.
You know the scientific method, of testing experiments. That's the first thing is hypothesis. Develop a hypothesis. So clearly, the hypothesis was, see this picture? We can make that.
He's like, if they're trying to figure out how to do something, well, can you draw it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can I draw it? Yeah, I guess so. It won't be that great, but what if I do a stick figure? Does it count? A for effort? Yeah.
We can just pump it up with steroids.
Steroids are bad, kids. Just like crack.
But if you put it together,
I'm too fat to smoke crack. Like if you've ever seen any crackheads, and I have seen crackheads, they're never these big guys who have lustrous skin. They're all like really scrawny, malnourished, don't have enough money for food because they spend it all on crack.
It's more of a fashion thing if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's a scientific fact that 98% of crackheads go into modeling
it's true.
and pornography.
Ew.
That's a different thing for a different day, though.
Ew.
We're talking Pokemon, kids game.
What the heck?
For kids.
Cracks for kids. I'm done. I'm done.
It is not.
I've said too much. I've said too much. I must stop.
Trey, is there a side occupation that we need to have an intervention about?
What?
Devin wouldn't have let it get out of hand like this. We're just fighting caterpies. There's not.
What are we supposed to talk about? Caterpies? They're a really nice green color.
They're worms.
They have a peace sign on their head, and yet they're still fighting.
If you could see by the shape of the caterpie's, head, that was a foreshadowing to Pokemon Y. That's right. It was foreshadowed
the Caterpies.
Several years before it was even conceived in the minds of the Pokemon Company.
Throwing out names.
It's like they just looked at a picture of a Caterpie.
Oh dear God! And now the next, looking at him, it's probably gonna be a Swirl or 6. Pokemon 6.
Pokemon G.
Pokemon G. Jumanji. Jumanji style Pokemon G.
Because that's the next natural point to go, right?
Exactly. Go from. What about Z? Like, why X and Y? Like, why not Y and Z?
I was thinking that they were gonna do Z, but it's not looking like it. I was hoping that they would do a Z because the third game in the series is always the best. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. That's the end of this part, and we will see you guys next time.
Goodbye.